everybody. Welcome to episode 513 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you are playing Magic or you're playing Magic, we're playing Magic because we're your hosts.
I'm one of your hosts that's playing Magic, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts that's playing Magic, Megan.
Well, I'm not playing it currently, but aren't I?
I mean, aren't
Always
we kind of
playing it in my mind?
We all?
You know,
Yeah.
I would argue that we are.
Do you know what? I think about it a lot.
That's
I
what
think
I'm
about
saying.
Games. I think about creatures. You ever
Wait,
just sit
you
around
think
and think about creatures?
You think about countering creatures. Get real.
I do. Oh, truly? Do you know
Get
what, Maria?
real.
The number of times that I just for no reason, unprompted, think of the card Nexus of Fate is like pretty high. Sometimes I'm just sitting around
Nexus
and I'm like,
of Fate?
ooh, Nexus of Fate.
That is a card.
What a card.
I thought you were gonna say I just like dream about canceling people's spells. Cancel.
No, I do really dream of
Taking
of
extra
Nexus
turns.
of
Okay,
Fate.
well, I mean,
just think about it
that's
all
fair.
the time.
On this episode,
Yes.
more about cards in general.
Yeah.
Just magic. You know.
Also, not to spook you, but the Wasp is in this room.
No,
Yeah, I
it
just
is
saw
not.
it a
Where
minute
is
ago.
it?
I don't know where it is right now, Maria. It was over there a minute ago.
No, get out. It is November 21st. Why is it in here?
That's why it's inside, though. I'm really scared.
There's a wasp in
There's
our
a wasp
office,
in
everybody.
our office right now, and I truly don't know where it went. I saw it a moment ago.
Wasp update 2021. I was stung by a
It's
wasp.
2022.
What year is it?
Maria, it is nearly the year 2023.
I was stung by a wasp this summer already. Thank you. Once was enough.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone generally says about wasps.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully it won't get us. But if it does, you'll hear some screaming on this podcast. So just brace yourselves
boy.
for the future.
I'm really spooked.
On this episode, Wasp Update 2021 and 2022.
All right.
Also,
We're going to talk about all of the great cards in Brothers War Limited, because
Yes.
there is that limited arena open coming up this very weekend. And we want you to be as prepared as possible to abandon your family and go play Magic Arena instead.
It's Arena's version of a turkey trot. If you don't
Do you know
want to
what?
trot,
It is.
You can sit and you can thought.
It is going to be much better than a turkey trot. As a person who's never participated in one and never felt the drive to participate in a turkey trot,
I've
I
never
can
felt
guarantee
the drive
you.
to participate in any trot of any kind.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Turkey or otherwise, the trot is not it.
Yeah, there's an arena open. It's sealed on day one, best of one or best of three, whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
And then draft if you make it to day two. I love these events, so I'm super excited. And we're going to tell you not only how to do well in that event, but just how to play draft generally better if you're playing Brothers War and you want some tips on what's good.
Yeah, what's hot? What's
We've got
not?
the data, and the data does not lie. So if you follow data, you'll probably start doing better in your draft. So that's what we're here for you, to help you do better.
Just like Shakira's hips.
The data don't lie. That was the original draft of that song, by the way. The data don't lie. And then they were like, what are you talking about? And she's like, Magic the Gathering. And they're like, we've got to expand this out.
I'm sorry.
What about knees? The knees don't lie.
Don't worry. In the future, you'll get to write a song for the World Cup of Soccer. Shakira.
Don't worry. It'll happen for you.
It'll happen for you.
If you're in time travel backwards.
It happened in her future and our past.
Yes. If she was here listening to this from the... Oh, no, that would be really difficult.
Shakira, during the writing of Hips Don't Lie, that Shakira's future and our past.
We're also going to preview for you a pack from Jumpstart 2022 because Jumpstart's coming out December 2nd, everybody. That's the product that's a bunch of booster packs, and they've got some cards in them. You put them together with another booster pack. Boom, boom, boom. So like cats plus fairies equals 40 card deck. You battle it against somebody else. It's super cute and fun way to get your friends in Magic. We don't have an agenda, but if we did... we'd have more people play Magic. And it's a super fun and easy introduction to the format. So if you're thinking about holiday gifts or whatever, I think it's a great idea. And we've got a pack we're going to show off for you. It has 2 brand new cards.
Ooh.
And 1 new piece of art. That's
very
brand
exciting.
new. So very exciting there. And that's on it. We've got Judge Rob here this week.
We also have Judge Rob here this week. We're super excited. He's going to tell us about the sights and sounds of DreamHack Atlanta.
Yes.
And give give us a little judge knowledge.
Yeah, because
a little judge insight.
He was down there for the regional championships that took place this past weekend. We had 3 sets of regional championships that sent a bunch of people to the first pro tour next year, sent a bunch of people to the world championship. They were all playing Pioneer.
Yeah.
Some people playing Boggles. Just want to put that in there. That did happen.
Maria wants you to know. Hey, Boggles.
It's important to me that you would know. And Rob was there amongst the action. We're going to get a tournament report from Rob, so that'll be pretty fun too.
Very cool.
We're jam-packing this episode.
But before we do any of that, I'm going to tuck the cuffs of my pants into my boots so that the wasp can't sting my legs.
So creepy. While she does that, I just want to say thanks to everybody who supports us on Patreon. You make this madness possible. You know, you're welcome or we're sorry. You can check us out on patreon.com/GLHF Magic to become our brand new friend. We have different tier levels. For just $1, you can become a patron and get access to our super sweet Discord, which is a great happy place to hang out and talk about magic.
Yeah. If you're like, Twitter's dead or dying, where do I go next? Come hang out in our Discord, honestly.
We will take you.
You can talk about magic. And the thing is, you're going to hear people actually say fun things that they're doing in magic instead of exclusively complain about it the way that they did on Twitter.
That's true.
So come hang out in our Discord.
Yeah, we've got a special deal with new play mats if you become a patron through the end of December. And we've got, it's beautiful. It looks like a Boggle Cruise.
It looks great. It's amazing.
We've talked about that deal on the show before.
Exactly. But it's coming up. Next week.
Next week
Is when you can get your hands on this beauty.
So.
And if you thought I was exaggerating about my pants, Maria can confirm I was not.
No, if you watched the video, you saw her do it.
You saw me tuck the hems of my pants into my boots.
And we have a new patron to thank as well.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much for reminding me, Maria. But thank you to Cody.
Cody,
this episode is for you. And because it's just you this week, this episode, the whole thing is yours. But also, there's the wasp.
I see it. Oh my God, it's huge.
It's enormous wasp.
So big. Does it want to sting us, do you think?
I don't know, but it also flies like way too fast for comfort. You know what I'm saying?
It's in here, everyone.
Wow, it's in here.
It's in here.
Oh boy.
Thank you to Card Kingdom.
Thank you. Thank you to Cody. No.
Oh my God, I saw it. I saw it swoop. It swooped at Meghan, everybody. Meghan is peaced out. She is out of the show. Meghan has quit the show. She is gone. She has ran out of the office. I'll do the thing here to thank Card Kingdom though. I don't know. It just came for you though. I did see it come for you. It came right at Meghan. Card Kingdom, thank you for not being a wasp. You can check them out at cardkingdom.com/GLHF. Get anything for your magical life. I don't know if they sell wasp swatters, but you never know. They sell a lot of stuff. Okay, you probably don't want to swat a wasp, but however you get them, you could get a box of the Brothers War that they're selling right now, and then you could use it to trap the wasp and then relocate it, rehome it, if you will. Get yourself some shiny singles to upgrade your commander deck. I love getting singles for people for Christmas, some kind of special alt art or a foil to put in their favorite commander decks. I think that's a great present. Card Kingdom's got everything you need. Cardkingdom.com/GLHF is the link to use to get whatever you want. I don't know what we're going to do about this wasp, but but we are on high alert.
I'm just so spooked. I keep thinking I hear it or see it.
I mean, you weren't wrong. It was.
It came at me.
You could see it on the video, everybody. If you looked for it, you could see it swoop down.
It came right at me. Anyways, really sorry about that, everyone. Really sorry. I just don't want to get stung by a wasp today.
No.
And I swear it was out for me.
It was out for blood. What do they want? What do the wasps want?
What do the wasps want? Thank you for holding down the thank you section.
Yeah.
Maria.
I did it. I feel like I've been stung once this summer, so I'm like, a little bit immune to the fear. I don't know. It was so bad though. It was so bad.
That's good for you. Not the part where the wasp sting hurt.
All right, everybody, if you want to get better at Brothers War Limited, we are here to help.
Yeah. I feel like the last few times, for maybe the past year now, I've been one of the people in need of help for sure at the start of these formats.
Yeah, these formats have been getting more and more complex, I would say, and I think this one is certainly no exception.
Not at all an exception.
With complexity level.
Quite complex. And just in terms of like trying to figure out like what's winning right now.
Yeah.
Because it's not me.
I've been doing excessively medium.
Yeah, that's nice. I wish I was doing medium. I'm doing so poorly. I wish I was doing medium.
Well, we're going to help you out here.
Thank you.
And me out with this show today. The first thing that's important to discuss about a format is the color strength.
Yeah.
So which colors are ones that you should prioritize if you can in draft? Of course, it's not always right to force a color if everybody around you is also picking it.
Yeah.
But we'd like to just have that as a starting point as what to think about when you're going into a draft or less into sealed because you have less control, obviously, about what you open. But let's talk about color. So in this format, it's a little bit different because we've got so many artifacts. Many of which are extremely strong.
Yeah.
Because of the presence of some of the older artifacts that we are seeing reprinted in this set. Mm-hmm. And so that means that monocolor is totally viable in this format, which is totally weird.
And not only is monocolor viable, but across some colors, it has been doing exceptionally well.
That's spooky.
So looking at 17 lands, the best performing deck is mono red.
Yeah, mono red.
Woof.
Mono red.
Wow.
And I think this has been what I've been seeing when I've been playing drafts, when I've been watching people draft. Mono red, incredibly strong, has some great commons, which we'll talk about later. We're going to tell you about the best 10 commons across all of the colors and indeed within their own colors too. Red is just pretty dominant.
Yeah. 59.5% is the win rate of mono red.
When a monocolored deck had that high of a performance rate.
Exceptionally high.
Wow.
And honestly, not too far behind it at 58.8 is mono green.
Yes, mono green also has some stellar commons.
It really does.
That you can pick up.
Just some big, if you want to be stompy.
Stompy stomps.
Mono green, it's here for you.
And mono white is another one we want to call out at 58.1% win rate.
Yeah.
Which is pretty strong too.
What color shouldn't you be playing by itself? Blue.
Oof.
Woof. Ouch.
48.6.
This hurts me. 48.6 is abysmal.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
You're winning less than half your games.
It's not where I want to be.
No, it's not.
So monocolor, strong in this format. Monocolor plus a splash, which is, obviously putting a couple of cards from another color in there. Also a strong performer in this format.
And then when we get into like classic 2-color combinations, way high up there is Boros. This is the top performing 2-color combination at 58.8%.
So that's the same as mono green.
Yeah.
So Boros and mono green on the same playing field with mono red above both of them.
Yeah.
And Boros, spoiler alert, we're going to see a lot of Boros cards in our top 10 commons.
Yeah, it's got a lot of cards that you want to play.
When I was at the pre-release a couple weekends ago for this set, I had an opponent who played Boros against me, a very aggressive Boros deck, and their draws didn't come together games 2 or 3. But in game 1, I was like, I started to get a little worried. I was like, is this going to happen in this format? Are we just going to get Boros smashed?
And it looks like the answer is possibly quite yes.
Yeah.
Possibly very yes. The next best performing 2-color combo is Gruul. That's red-green at 57.9.
Gruul. So we've still got the red component in there as half of Gruul, and then green, which also performed well in monocolor.
Yep, exactly. Starting to see a trend here.
Yes, indeed.
Next is It Blue-Red, 57.4, and very close behind it, Azorius White-Blue at 57.3. So finally, we're getting some blue cards performing mediocre in here.
With the support of red, and
Yes, exactly.
And the support of white.
So the support of two of the stronger colors.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. In terms of what you don't really want to be playing, Simic, 52.5% win rate.
Oof.
Green-blue, not having a great time.
So green, it needs to be supported by red, it looks like.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a second color.
I think so. And I think that's because you need that help to not get run over early.
Yeah. That's a great point.
It is just otherwise quite easy to get run over early with those mono red or red white decks running around.
Ew, gross.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this.
Me neither, honestly.
It's cool that you can play monocolor.
Yes.
Because that's different and weird. And I like playing a lot of artifacts.
It's really cool how many artifacts you can play.
I don't like being, run over game after game after game.
No. It gets tiresome. And also, I don't love a format where it feels like my only chance of being successful is drafting one of only a handful of decks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's not a super fun time. But the format is still new.
Yes. The night is young.
The night is young. This is a lot of data coming together to tell these stories of like what is strong and what isn't. That being said, formats shift and change. So we can hope that going forward, perhaps people will find good ways to counter these aggressive decks.
So let's talk about the best top 10 commons that you want to be looking for when you're drafting. The reason we're focusing on these is because these are the cards you will see the most often across your drafts and will be the most important, your bread and butter as you're putting your decks together. Obviously, mythics and rares are splashy and will help you win.
Yes.
When it comes down to it, commons is what you really need to know if something is open. So we're going to start at number 10 and work our way down to number 1 because that's the most exciting. So the number 10 best common in the set based on games in hand win rate, meaning if you have this in your hand, the likelihood that you're going to win the game is Ambush Paratrooper, which is a white card.
Yeah, this is 1 and a white for a 1/2 flash flying 5 mana. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn.
I would not in a million years have thought about this card if you just showed me the format and you're like, would this be on the top 10?
I'd be like, no, whatever.
No.
Like maybe I would play it if I needed to fill out my aggressive deck that is also white.
But here it is, number 10.
Here it is. And I mean, it makes right now that we know more about the format, it makes sense that 5 mana activation, you can sometimes get 2 activations out of this if you have a lot of stuff like Power Stones running around because Power Stones can be used to pump this ability.
Yeah, I think a strong card and coming in at number 10. Number 9.
Gaia's Gift. This is 1 and a green instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains reach, trample, hexproof, and indestructible until end of turn. Wow.
That's a lot of keywords.
That's a lot of keywords. But anything that blanks removal, quite nice.
Yeah, I think the fact that it gets indestructible and also hexproof.
Yes, is really
so you can use it on
really strong.
D, but then you can also use it if you need to give your giant monster trample to get through for the final points of damage.
Yep, it just works on a lot of axes.
Airlift Chaplain is coming in at number 8, 2 and a white for a 1/1 flyer, human cleric. When it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Then you can, excuse me, I swallowed the wasp. Just kidding.
Nightmare.
You can put a plains or a creature from that mill back into your hand. If you don't, you get a +1/+1 counter. So you just make a 2/2 flyer if you want.
2/2 flyer.
That flexibility is great. Are you short on your land drops? Do you just want a creature? Or do you want a 2/2 flyer? That's 3 incredible options.
Really great.
This card's amazing.
Next up is Overwhelming Remorse. This is 4 and a black instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. Exile target creature or planeswalker.
Great.
Instant speed exile. Get it out of here.
I was casting this thing the other day for like 3 mana.
Nice.
Feeling like a champ.
Really good. Really good stuff.
Normally we have to pay the whole 5 for that, and we don't ever get a discount, by the way.
Yeah. We never get a discount on exiling creatures. This store never has good deals.
This is a Black Friday of removal spells. Just putting that out there. Next up, a prison sentence.
Yeah, 2 and a white enchantment aura. Enchant creature. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. Enchanted creature can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated.
Once again, we're getting extra benefit on this card, which is the scry 2. We normally don't get.
Yeah, exactly. Usually this is just like arrest, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Take it and don't complain.
Take it in white and like just deal with it. But now we get a scry too. Thank you.
Next up is Aeronaut Cavalry. This is 4 and a white for a 3/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on another target soldier you control.
Yeah. Solid.
What? Yeah.
There's
what
so
else
many.
Can you say?
There's so many soldiers in this format. There's lots of incidental
Everyone's a
soldiers.
Soldier. Yes.
You'll just get those 1/1 soldiers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The question, I always have the question when I'm looking at my opponent's board and I'm like, oh, do they have any soldiers? The answer is always yes.
Yes. There's one soldier there somewhere.
There's always a soldier. Next up is this is
shocking.
Fascinating that this is card 4.
This is
fourth. Goblin Blast Runner.
What?
1 red mana for a 1/2 goblin. It gets +2/+0 and has menace as long as you sacrificed a permanent this turn. Say what?
Excuse me? This one would have surprised me even more than the 1/2 flyer, the Ambush Paratrooper.
And it's way higher on the list. This 4 has a game in hand win rate of 59.5%.
That is... That's absurd.
What?
That's absurd.
A 1 mana 1/2.
You're almost 60% to win the game if you have this card in your hand. That's unbelievable. It's a 1/2.
It's a 1/2.
Wow.
Well.
Okay. Good to know.
Next up is a more classic best common.
Yes.
This is number 3 on the list. Excavation Explosion. 2 and a red sorcery. It deals 3 damage to any target. Create a tapped Power Stone token.
Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Kind of expensive, but you get a Power Stone, which we've mentioned being valuable.
Exactly. Very valuable.
And it's in the best color.
And any target.
Any
you
target.
can always just
That's true.
burn your opponent's face. There are 3. Burn them.
Burn them. Number 2, this one used to be number 1 just a couple of days ago, but it slipped to number 2. Scrapwork Mutt.
Again, say what?
2 mana for a 2/1 dog, by the way. It's nice to see dog instead of hound.
It is.
When it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card or unearth for 1 in red.
Wow. Nice.
It's aggressive, gets in there for damage, lets you rummage, which is helpful in a color like red that doesn't have access to that effect very much. And then, of course, it has unearth, which has proven to be so strong.
Really strong.
In this format. Unearth.
Start playing ways to exile graveyards.
It's strong. What's number 1?
Speaking of unearth, it's Scrapwork Cohort. This is the 4 mana 3/1 artifact creature soldier. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token, unearth for 2 and a white.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Yep.
I've seen people playing this when they're not even playing white. Doesn't really matter. And then there's a lot of ways in this set to make mana of different colors with the artifacts. So sometimes you're just like, you can just pay for this, because you happen to be running a color fixing artifact that also draws you cards.
Game in hand win rate 60.1%.
That is
really good.
I'm shocked by that number.
A 4 mana 3/1. A 4 mana 3/1.
So you're also getting that 1/1, which by the way is a soldier, which we talked about wanting. And then you've unearth it and you get another soldier. That's going a long way to explaining why this card is so great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the colors there then of our top 10. We've got white, red, 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 white, white, black, white, green, white.
Woof.
No blue.
No blue.
Get wrecked.
Yeah.
1 green card.
1 green card, 1 black card. I was gonna say, so if we want to talk about the top 5 commons per color, all 5 of whites are in the list of the top 10. There's nothing to talk about here.
All right, well, we've done white then.
5 of them are in the top 10.
There you go, everybody.
The cohort, the cavalry, prison sentence, airlift chaplain, and ambush paratrooper.
Yikes.
All in there. Right?
That's
That's a spicy meatball.
That's a spicy meatball.
That's a spicy meatball. Blue. None of these cards
are in the top 10.
What
do you got for me?
The top one is Combat Courier. This is the
1
mana 1/1.
Wow.
2 mana, sacrifice it, draw a card, unearth for a blue. Wow. Wow. Next is Mightstone's Animation. This is a cool card, actually. 3 and a blue for an aura enchant artifact. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted artifact is a creature with base power and toughness 4/4 in addition to its other types.
Oh, okay.
That one's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that card.
Yeah, 57.4% win rate. And also, it's a steep drop off. Combat Courier, 58.2. Almost a full point.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then it's almost another full one to the next one, Desynchronize. This is the instant that puts a non-land permanent on the top or bottom of its owner's library. Stern Lesson, which helps you draw cards. And Weakstone Subjugation, which is a removal spell.
Jeez. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, Blue, I'm really sorry. You had your day, I guess, and it's not this set.
All 5 of those are worse than White's 5. It's White's 5 and then those come later somewhere.
Oof.
Black is the next color. There's Overwhelming Remorse, which did make the top 10.
Yes. Congratulations, the only one.
Congratulations, the only one. The next 4 are Gix's Caress. This is the one that you remove a non-land card from your opponent's hand, and then you create a Power Stone. Yep. Trench Stalker. This is fascinating. This is the 4/5 for 4 and a black. As long as you've drawn 2 or more cards, it has Death Touch and a lifelink this turn.
And it's very cute.
It's very cute.
And I think that lifelink clause here is what's putting it up because you're going to gain back the life you lost from those scrapwork mutts.
Disfigure. This is a big one. Disfigure, quick little kill spell, especially if you're getting run over by a bunch of cheap Boros creatures.
Isn't it fascinating that it is not higher on this top 5?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
honestly, if you were to have me guess, I would have been like, oh, it's probably 1 or 2.
It's in the top 10.
But
like the top 10 across all colors, but nope.
No.
And then Moment of Defiance. This is wild. 2 and a black. Instant. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains lifelink until end of turn.
Lifelink.
There you go. Draw a card.
Wow. Yeah. Jeez. So we're seeing the cards that maybe the reason that they're in this top 5 for black is because they have the lifelink ability.
Yeah.
And a Gix's Caress shocks me, quite honestly, but it makes a Power Stone.
It makes a Power Stone.
That shows how important Power Stones are, yeah.
Red, once again, the top 3 were all in the top 5.
Yep.
Of all colors. That was Scrapwork Mutt, Excavation Explosion, and Goblin Blast Runner. After that, we have Pendragon Strongbowl.
This card is great.
This card is really can
Watch
be brutal.
out for it. 2 in a red.
Yeah.
2, 3, 1. Sacrifice an artifact. So get rid of your Power Stones. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn and deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Just quite
strong. So it can just kill you.
Yeah. And then Whirling Strike is 5, 1 in a red. Instant target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike and trample until end of turn. That trample, man.
Yeah, trample.
That trample's gonna get you.
Absolutely. In green, we already talked about Gaia's Gift. That's coming in at number 1. Game in hand, win rate 58.8%.
Yep. Unsurprising next is Boulder Branch Golem. This is the 7 mana 6/5 with prototype for 3 and a green.
What happens 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, Megan?
You gain life.
You gain life
equal to its power. You gain life.
Yep.
What do? You gain life. Argothian Opportunist, great little card. This is the 3/2 for 3 that makes a Power Stone token.
Love it.
Obviously. Blanchwood Prowler. This is the 1 in a green 1/1 elemental. You mill 3 cards. You can put a land card from among them into your hand. If you don't, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And a good old classic at number 5.
Giant Growth.
Giant Growth.
Wow.
Hey, Giant Growth.
Giant Growth.
What's up, buddy?
Hi. Very cute.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
yep. What a time.
What a time. This data is definitely pointing us in a certain direction.
Yes, it is.
That
so
is
if
to
you're
red,
like,
that
what
is to
do I
white.
need to do?
That is to multicolor, monocolor.
Yeah.
Or, red and white. If you're gonna draft 2.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be in this draft format, everybody.
Wow.
And that also points to cards that you should look towards more highly in your sealed this weekend if you're playing the Arena Open.
Yeah. Oh man, Maria, I sent you the one sealed that I have done.
Oh yeah.
Just because it was beautiful. I will recount it now for you all briefly.
It was a thing of beauty.
It was an obvious 7 wins. What else can I say about it? I had a Wormcoil Engine.
Well, there you go.
And Cityscape Leveler. This is the 8 mana 8/8 mythic.
Oh yeah.
When you cast it or when it attacks, destroy a 1 target non-land permanent.
Gross.
With Unearth also. That was, you know what? That's what won.
What more do you need to say?
Exactly. Was there other stuff? Yeah, I had Third Path Savant, which is the 2 and a blue for a 2/3. You pay 7 and draw 2 cards.
You were making a lot of Power Stones?
Yeah. And that card in a sealed format, I mean, of course, blue has been underperforming.
Yeah.
But just very, very good. So, yeah.
Oh, boy. What a weird format.
What a
honestly.
weird format.
Very strange things are happening. Strange things are afoot. And we mentioned the Arena Open a couple of times. That's this weekend.
Yeah.
The 26th and 27th. You can play sealed day 1, best of 1, and best of 3. Draft is on day 2 if you make it to day 2. For something fun to do over the Thanksgiving weekend. There's also going to be Gladiator, which is a free-to-play event on Arena. If you want to check that out, invented by our friends over at Loading Ready Run.
Yeah, it's very fun.
So we encourage everyone to check that out. Plus, it's free, and it's a good time. But... wow, I guess it'll remains to be seen if the format shifts from this dominance of mono red decks and red white in general.
Yeah.
If we're able to counter that a little bit, we see green and black trying to get into the game with some lifelink. Blue's back on the sideline hey, remember me? And we're like, no.
I wish, buddy. I wish.
So yeah, keep us posted if you ever draft or build something in sealed that you think is really cool. You can tweet at us at GLHF Magic. Hop in the Discord, share a deck list with us. We love to see it.
Yeah, we do.
And we'll see where the format goes from here. It's Good Luck High Five preview time. This time we're talking about Jumpstart.
Wow. So Jumpstart, as we mentioned before, is a super cool format where you take 2 little 20-card themed boosters. And you shuffle them together. They already have lands to make them work.
Yep.
And then you get to play, your friend, your opponent with these this little mashup deck.
I think they're so fun.
Cat fairies and unicorn zombies.
Yeah. We Jumpstart came out last year too.
Yeah.
There's a new edition coming out this December 2nd. And we've got a preview pack to show you.
Yeah.
We're going to crack open a virtual pack of zombies. Now, each of these themes also have a rarity: common, rare, and mythic. And among the common and rares, you'll get different cards in them.
Oh.
So not every single one is going to be the same either. So let's crack that virtual pack and see what we've got.
Ooh, first up is Cemetery Recruitment. 1 and a black sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If it's a zombie card, draw a card.
Well, you got a pretty good chance that it's going to be a zombie card.
You have a zombie card.
In this
Did
format.
we say this was zombies?
This is zombies.
This is zombies. The theme is zombies.
Crow of Dark Tidings is our next card, which is 2 and a black for a 2/1 flyer. It's a zombie bird.
Zombies.
When Crow of Dark Tidings enters the battlefield or dies, mill 2 cards.
Put those zombies in your graveyard.
Get them back with
Put your zombies.
Get them back with Cemetery Recruitment.
Nice.
Synergy. Already here at the first 2 cards in the pack.
Yeah. Dead Weight is the next one. Single black enchantment aura. Enchant creature. It gets -2/-2.
Great removal.
Classic removal.
Endless Ranks of the Dead is a rare we've got for you.
Yeah, 2 black enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, create X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, where X is half the number of zombies you control rounded down.
Pretty good. You just keep doing it.
Interesting. Also, the art on this is lovely.
Ryan Yee, one of my favorite arts probably of all time. I put this in there.
It's a very spooky but pretty. Love it.
It's got the stained glass window with a bunch of zombies on the other side of it, kind of banging on it to get in.
Oh, great vibes.
I really love it.
I mean, bad vibes, but great vibes.
Great vibes. Gavany Unhallowed is our next card. 3 and a black for a 2/2 zombie. 2/4 zombie. Whenever another creature you control dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Get those creatures in the graveyard.
Kill your zombies.
Ghoul Raiser. 1 black for a 2/2 zombie. When it enters the battlefield, return a zombie card at random from your graveyard to your hand.
I like it.
Love it.
You can't choose which one it is, but that's more fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Gnawing Zombie, 1 and a black for a 1/3. 1 and a black, sacrifice a creature. It's going to be a zombie. Target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
Put those zombies in the graveyard.
Also great art from Greg Staples here. The zombie eating a bone. That's cannibalism. Anyway.
Graph Harvest, single black enchantment. Zombies you control have menace.
Great.
3 and a black, exile a creature card from your graveyard. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token.
Look, you can get zombies back as themselves, or you can exile a zombie to make zombie.
To make zombies, you can exile a zombie from a graveyard to make a new zombie.
Or
how's that for science?
You could, if whatever your second pack is you shuffle with this, you can exile that and turn it into zombie.
Ooh, how about that?
Zombie cat.
Zombie.
Oh, all-timer here up next. Gravecaller, another rare. Gravecaller can't block. It's 2/1. But who cares about blocking, am I right? You may cast Gravecaller from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie.
Great. You control a zombie.
How many times are we going to say zombie in this segment?
So many. Grave Digger, another classic.
All-timer.
3 and a black, 2/2 zombie. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Use a different card to get this zombie back from your graveyard.
Get
and then
another
this zombie
card.
gets another zombie. How's that for
Beautiful.
science?
Carfell Kennelmaster. This is a more expensive zom. 4 and a black for a 4/4. It's a zombie berserker. When it enters the battlefield, up to 2 target creatures each get +1/+0 and gain indestructible until end of turn.
Hot.
So attack into whatever, who cares? We have a mythic! Oh, we've got Liliana Death's Majesty.
I love this one. 3 black, 5 loyalty, +1, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token, mill 2 cards. -3, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Or -7, destroy all non-zombie creatures.
Gonna ultimate her for sure.
Yeah.
If you also like Liliana, she needs her Majesty. Or excuse me, her mastery.
She already has her majesty.
She needs her mastery.
Oh, yes.
3 black for an enchantment. Zombies you control get +1/+1. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens.
Nice.
Very good. This card, I don't recognize this card,
It's
but
spooky.
it is really weird.
Malfeld twins. 5 and a black for a 4/4. When it dies, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens.
Sick.
Wow.
Marauding Bone Slasher. I love this card.
Yeah.
Is our next zom. 2 and a black for a zombie minotaur. Can't block unless you control number zombie. It's a 3/3.
Yeah.
Love it. Great rate.
Oh, Mire Triton. This is a classic little zomb.
Yeah.
1 and a black for a 2/1 zombie merfolk. Death touch. When it enters the battlefield, mill 2 cards and you gain 2 life.
I love that zombie.
Oh, yeah. Love that zombie.
Necromancer Stockpile is a card you have the chance to open. 1 and a black for an enchantment at rare. 1 and a black, discard a creature card, draw a card. If the discarded card was a zombie, you make a 2/2 black zombie creature token.
Wow.
That's
Spicy.
value. That's value
That's
right
value.
there.
Discard a zombie, get a zombie? Okay.
How about this zom?
Returned Reveler. 1 and a black for a 1/3 zombie satyr. When it dies, each player mills 3 cards.
Sick.
Put those zombies in your graveyard.
Shambling Ghoul. How about this zomb? 1 and a black for a 2/3 enters tapped.
All right.
I'll take it.
Stitcher's Supplier. Another classic zom.
Oh, I love this zom.
Zom. 1 black for a 1/1 zombie. When it enters the battlefield or dies, mill 3 cards.
Mill 3 cards. Put the zoms in the yard.
Zoms.
How about an Undead Augur?
Black for a 2/2 zombie wizard. When it or another zombie you control dies, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Ooh, value. Value.
Oh, this is also the most beautiful phrase in the English language. Cellar door. 2, artifact, uncommon, 3 tap. Target
Wait,
player.
the phrase cellar door?
Yeah, haven't you ever heard that?
What? No. What?
Really? Oh, yeah. Like it's like the most beautiful 2-word phrase. Cellar door. I don't know. I didn't invent it.
This is not real. Keep going, but this is not real.
3 tap. Target player puts the bottom card of their library into their graveyard. If it's a creature card, you make a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Hold on. I'm looking it up. Cellar door, most beautiful. Was it from Donnie Darko? Cellar door is considered the most beautiful word because of phone aesthetics. It's the study of beauty associated with speech words.
Cellar door.
Cellar door.
It is not that nice. There are better words that sound nicer.
I don't know. That's just
hot take.
That's what they say.
Better words that sound nicer.
Good news, everybody. We've now got 3 cards left to preview for you. 2 of which are brand new.
Brand new cards.
Here's a brand new card. Ready? Are you ready for it, though?
I'm ready.
Deadly Plot.
Ooh, 3 and a black instant. Choose 1. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Yes.
Nice.
Or return target zombie creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Gorgeous.
I love it. It's so flexible.
Yes. Great art by Peter Pollock here.
Yeah, really beautiful.
Yeah. Very spooky. Very eerie.
The next card is a reprint, but it has beautiful new art. So in these packs, you're going to get an anime art style card, and we're going to show off one for you right now.
Yes, Lord of the Accursed. This is my favorite choice to make an anime art.
It is great.
It's a great anime art. 2 and a black for a 2/3 zombie. Other zombies you control get +1/+1. 1 black tap. All zombies gain menace until end of turn.
It's a 2/3. This art is quite lovely. There's this anime lady. She's standing on an empty battlefield with a few zombies around her.
Of course.
A flowing red cape. I don't know what to call that.
Ribbon.
Purple hair, red glowing eyes.
Classic anime.
Really like it.
Yeah.
And another new card.
Ooh, Maria. Do you want to do the honors?
All right. Suspicious Shambler. Welcome to Magic the Gathering. 3 and a black for a 4/2 zombie at common. 4 black. Exile Suspicious Shambler from your graveyard. Create 2 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Activate only as a sorcery.
Wow.
I love that it's on a creature.
Yes. I love that the art is one zombie stacked on top of another zombie in a trench coat.
Oh, it is!
That's why it's suspicious. At first, it's a normal, I'm a normal, very tall person. 2 zombies in a trench coat.
2 zombies
Suspicious Shambler,
in
aka
a trench coat.
2 zombies in a trench coat.
That's great.
Very nice.
A+. There's a look at some of the zombies that you may have access to in Jumpstart 2022, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you to Wizards for the free preview content. Again, you can get Jumpstart packs starting on December 2nd. Take 2, put them together, shuffle up and play.
Sick.
Everybody, we've got Judge Rob back on the show.
Yay!
Welcome, Rob. And you know, it's not for the normal reason, which is it could be previewing a new set at this rate.
At this rate.
But it is not this time. We've got a great new segment that we're doing with Rob that we're so excited to debut on this episode, which we like to call Magic the Amateuring.
That is such a good... Did you just come up with that?
Thank you. Yeah, it just came into my
popped
head.
Into your head.
No one has ever named anything that before.
No.
Yeah,
no.
It sounds totally novel to me.
Yeah,
I've never heard it before.
Thank you. Where Rob is going to talk to us about ways that you can teach people magic, best practices for that, and cool new things that are happening in the judge space around magic. Because I'm always fascinated when you talk to us about certain rules and stuff that are just like so interesting, corner case things. And I think a lot of people are interested in that too. This week specifically, we're talking about teaching people the game. Right. We previewed a Jumpstart pack on the show with zombies. So that's one way to teach people the game. But what are best practices within like using a product like Jumpstart or anything to teach somebody magic? You're going to let us know because you were at DreamHack this past weekend.
I was.
For the regional championship.
Yes, I was there with Magic Kids.
Magic Kids.
And Magic Kids is partnering to make this happen.
Yes.
And so Magic Kids we'll talk more about it later, but it's a learn to play charity that sends out kits to help teach kids magic. We want to be like chess clubs for Magic the Gathering.
Yes. And because we're giving you this segment, if you're like, I know teachers or I'm a teacher myself, but I don't know how to play Magic, or I don't know teachers that know how to play Magic, you don't have to know how to play Magic to make use of Magic Kids.
Yeah,
you can order it and learn with the kids as you teach them.
If you don't know anything at all about Magic and you're listening, we're probably in the middle of the episode for this segment.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of this episode. We can help you.
Yeah, it's a fantastic organization, and lots of these kits are available for teachers if you want to start a club. Even if you're not a teacher and want to start a club, hey, they can help you out.
Yeah.
But Rob, let's talk about DreamHack.
Yeah.
What was it like?
It was huge. So I'm used to large scale Magic tournaments, right?
Yeah.
And so we had a large scale Magic tournament there that was the regional championships was over 900 players that played in it. More than that qualified, but obviously, like if somebody's from Washington, they might not want to fly to Atlanta.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so there were more people qualified than played, but still a ton of people played.
What was it like being back at a large scale tournament like that for the first time in a long time?
It was super cool. It was great to see everybody, like tons of people that I hadn't seen in a while pre-COVID. Tons of people from Minnesota came down. There was a whole team of Minnesotans that went and played, and they played a super cool 8 Pyromancer deck because of the new blue-red Pyromancer that makes like artifact tokens.
Oh, the soldiers,
the soldier artifacts.
Yeah.
And so they played that deck, and that was really cool. And they did generally pretty well. I think there were 3 people that made day 2 out of the Minnesota crew.
Nice.
And so this tournament was a huge deal. It was the first really, really big one run by Wizards in a while. There were a bunch of Wizards people there. Huey was there.
Yeah.
The head of Worldwide Organized Play, and just a whole bunch of Wizards folk were checking out how this tournament was going to get people qualified for the Pro Tour.
The first regional championship weekend of the new organized play system.
Yeah, exactly.
So we talked about in the upkeep, if you want info on that, everybody.
Yep.
The podcast came out yesterday where we talked about what decks won. It was Pioneer and that kind of stuff. You can check that out.
And it was worldwide. There was stuff happening, in Brazil the same day, right?
Yep.
And there was also one in Europe.
Yes.
And so this is for a Magic tournament. It would take up like a whole exhibit hall space. It was fairly large. DreamHack was like 5 times larger than just this Magic space.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have it in my head how big DreamHack was going to be. I think the Monster booth might have been as big as the Magic space, honestly. But they had fighting game tournaments. They had a new game, Skyscraper, that was all over the place. They had a giant LAN party. They had people that were bringing in cots that they could stay the whole weekend just right in the space.
Wow.
Whoa. It was very, very cool. DreamHack was a blast. And what we've done at Learn to Plays in the past is we've had a lot of we break things up. We'd call people visitors, people who come up to learn about Magic Kids, find out if they can get Magic in their schools or donate us stuff or help out with our big goal as a charity. But we also have learners where we're teaching people the game of Magic, right? And normally we've got like 7-to-1 visitors to learners, right? Everybody at a Magic tournament already knows Magic for the most part.
Yeah.
So they're coming up and they might have like a friend that they brought along and it's like, oh, I'll learn how to play. Or it might be a kid whose parent brought them and they're playing in the tournament and the parent's like, I don't really know anything about this game. And we're like, well, we'll teach you. We're pretty patient about it and it'll help you just connect with your kid. But we taught like 230 people to play Magic.
Wow!
Over the course of the weekend. It was huge. And what we did is, you were mentioning your Jumpstart pack that you previewed. We use Jumpstart packs for this.
They're so great for teaching
they're
people.
super great for teaching. And what we did was we would give them one pack. We'd let them choose from 5, one of each color. And then we would take another pack, and then we would run through like what are lands, what are spells, the breakdown of a card, and then just start playing. And the biggest takeaways are get the mana system into somebody's head, because the mana system's hard.
It's weird. There's not a lot of, it doesn't occur in a lot of other games.
Yeah. And a lot of other games, the way that Magic does it, where you have to pay for every single symbol, is different than other games. Other games, they'll have like a threshold amount and then also a total amount that you have to pay. But Magic is blue and 3 is 4 mana in Magic. In a lot of other games, a blue and a 3 would be 3 mana. You have to pay total of 3. You have to pay it with some blue. And so, like, getting people's heads wrapped around the different way that Magic does its mana system is important. Tapping, huge deal. Like, teaching them the mechanics of tapping and teaching them how tapping works. Once they get tapping in the mana system, they can read cards, right? They can kind of figure out what cards do. And there's a lot of intuitive stuff where flying is the most intuitive mechanic in Magic, right? You fly, I don't. Well, I can't block you, right?
It makes sense.
Right. And so,
a classic story.
I would argue horsemanship is on the same level of flying, because if you're on a horse, I obviously can't block you.
Yeah, you can't. I can't run as fast as a horse. I can't stop a horse.
I can run as fast as a horse.
Yeah, but you have horsemanship.
Yeah, I do. As a person.
Yeah, for sure.
And so the big things are getting those down, and then getting like the turn flow and structure, right?
How do you teach turn flow and structure, Rob? Are you just
I just
untap, upkeep, draw?
I do it step by step as we need to know things. So when we start the game, I have them on their first turn, they'll draw a card, right? And I say every turn you draw a card at the start of your turn. And then they might play a spell on their first turn, or they might not, but they definitely play a land. And I say every turn you get to play a land. I don't tell them about phases. I don't care about phases. They don't care about phases, right?
Yeah,
sure.
They care about the stuff they're allowed to do. And I'm like, you get to draw a card, you get to play a land, and then later, once they've played a land and they've tapped it for a thing, I'll be like, now
you get to
that land, you get to untap it. And they're like, oh, great. And I'm like, every turn you get a new card and all your stuff gets fresh. It gets unexhausted.
It gets fresh.
And so,
all your stuff
gets fresh.
Gets fresh.
And so
I like this, Rob, because you're saying you get to do these things. It's not like every turn you must untap, you must do this, you must.
Yeah.
Who cares about phases? That's a great tip.
Right. And so we have some like guide materials of like a reminder thing. What we were doing with donations this weekend, we didn't want to haul them all back for the most part. So we'd take draft chaff. People were drafting the Brothers War a lot, and they'd bring us a whole like box of just like somebody opened a bunch of collector's boosters, for instance, or set boosters, and they'd bring us all whatever they didn't want. And so we'd break up into piles, and we had a nice wrapper that had like the parts of a card, the phases of the turn, and how combat works on it. And so we'd wrap the thing and hand it to people as we taught them.
Okay, so having that little reminder that they can have in front of them is helpful.
Yeah, my guess is that you have to play at least a dozen games of Magic to like get it, to have it like ingrained in you as to how it works.
Yeah.
Flowing through your blood.
Having a reminder though that you can refer back to is like, oh, I don't remember what the middle part of a card does. Like what is being, this is a creature, elf, druid. What does all that mean?
Yeah.
Having a little reminder of this is the types of the card creatures get to attack and block. And so we have this reminder sheet that we'd wrap up with the thing and hand out to them and be like, here's a bunch of these commons. You can use it to try to change your deck, mess around with the stuff, try things out. Probably have 40% lands. The rest of it's all up to you. And then, but just take this sheet and then it's wrapped on there, and then you can refer to it. The second time that you play, you'll be like, I don't remember how combat works. Well, I got a combat breakdown on here, right?
Cute.
And so having that to hand out to people was really nice. I know that in a lot of cases, like we taught a lot of small children at this one. So the reason it was backwards was because Magic was maybe a fifth of DreamHack.
Right.
And so people came to DreamHack to do other stuff.
Yeah.
And so they came in so they could, play fighting games, and they came in with their kids, and they did the vendor row where they bought a bunch of like super glowy things and awesome art from these vendors and whatever. And they went and saw the Nesquik rabbit for some reason was there. And
burying the lead, Rob.
It was across from us. They were
the Nesquik rabbit?
Yeah, they were printing
themselves?
They had a t-shirt printer, and they had Nesquik shirts, and you got to have your name printed on the back of the shirt on site. And then the Nesquik rabbit would give it to you. It was weird. It was right across from us.
Does the Nesquik rabbit lay Nesquik eggs?
I have no idea. I don't I don't know what this cryptid does. I don't have a...
I think if you had given me a list of 20 things and been like, guess the one that was actually at DreamHack, I would not have picked Nesquik Rabbit out of the list.
Would you have picked the convenience store Circle K having a booth?
No. Also not that one.
They also had a booth.
Can I just go in there and get like convenience store snacks?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well that's cool. I like that.
It was very they were up on the so there were monitors all around showing off what was happening at DreamHack, and like Circle K had an ad that it's like it was like, look, you can buy prepackaged sandwiches from the Circle K, and I'm like, okay.
Can I gas up my car too?
I don't know. They didn't bring gasoline into the hall. I don't think. But
next time, Pump and Munch is going to be there. You mark my words.
Nesquik Rabbit is.
You could just go get free chocolate milk. I don't understand
really incredible.
The whole thing felt like a promotional vehicle for a lot of these companies.
Well, why not?
It was like half promotional vehicle for these companies, and then the other half was just people playing computer games and being super happy about it, or playing console video games. There were Smash Brothers tournaments. There are all sorts of stuff, Cute. Right?
So I want Meghan to pretend like she's coming up to your booth, and I want to hear what the first thing you'd say to her is. She's like, I want to learn Magic.
Hey, what's this?
Hey, so have you heard about Magic, the tabletop card game?
Oh, yeah, okay. I've heard of Magic.
Yeah, do you want to learn how to play it?
Sure.
Yeah, so then we would sit down.
Okay.
And we had some really nice like Geek Cheek tables that we sit down and I'd lay out the 5 decks.
Oh, this table is nice.
Yeah, it'd be like the company's unfortunately gone out of business.
That's too bad for them. They should have had a table rabbit.
Yeah. But we got these tables for them promotionally. So we have these tables. They're really nice.
Great.
And I have these 5 decks.
Okay.
And so let's talk a little bit about like the philosophy of the colors, so that you know kind of what's going on in the game. So white is the color of armies and groups and working together. And so like this theme deck is the Legion theme deck. That puts some soldiers together.
I'm a pacifist. I feel like that's not for me.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have some time in Magic. Magic is about punching people in the face.
My pacifism only goes so far. So I'll be able to get around it.
So like blue is the color of trickery and deceit and knowledge.
Oh yeah.
And if you like drawing cards in other games, you'll want to play blue.
Yeah.
Black is the color of winning at any cost. Raising the dead is unethical. Black doesn't care if it's ethical or not. They'll bring back zombies.
Ooh, I'm into black from this description.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So black is willing to do whatever it takes to try to win the game. Mm-hmm. So this is the reanimated theme deck, and when your stuff dies, you'll be able to bring it back again for another pass. And red is the color of passion and short-term thinking and things like lightning and fire. This one is the Goblins theme deck. They do not care about long-term thinking.
Yeah.
They're gonna just throw themselves at you to try to win the game.
Now I understand why I chose Rex.
I'm not a bad person, so I don't feel like playing that deck.
That's fair. And then there's green, which is the color of nature and growth and big monsters and the natural world. And so this is the dinosaurs theme deck where green gets to summon its big dinosaurs. Which of these seems most interesting?
Based on this, I would be like, give me the dinos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you'd grab the dinosaurs theme deck, we'd open them up, and what I do for the very first game is I hate getting mana screwed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I would cheat with all these people and be like, here's the deal. Normally you draw 7 random cards. We're not gonna. We're gonna start with 7 cards of our choice in our hand. We're gonna pick 3 lands out of the lands that are in the back of these Jumpstarts.
Nice.
And 4 spells.
Great.
And then we'd shuffle the rest to make a deck. And then we would just I would run down the anatomy of the card. I'd be like, here's the name, here's the cost and how mana works, here's the type line, and here's the power toughness. It has abilities. We're not going to worry yet. Someday when you play a card, we'll know it has abilities. Every card changes the rules of the game. But I don't want to bog you down. I just want what the basic stuff. You know that abilities exist here. Everyone is different. So we're not going to worry about which one those are. And then we would just start playing. I'd always have them go first. And if we had like a multiplayer game, the person to my left would go first, so everybody would get a turn. And I'd get the last turn. So I'd show them just to kind of set in their heads. This is the things you all did. This is the thing I'm doing as well. Right? Is I'm going to play a land. Do I have a 1-cost spell? And every turn I'd ask them, do you have a thing you can play? And I would try to make them the master of their own destiny. They get to choose whatever thing. And it doesn't matter if the decision is bad strategically, right?
Yeah.
What they're learning strategy when they're first picking up Magic. When you sit down to learn how to drive a car, you aren't worried about lanes and signals and stop signs.
I'm not worried about anything.
The very first thing that you want to learn when you drive a car is how to start the car and which one's the gas and which one's the brake.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Yeah, that's probably number one.
And the fact that you gotta
move the wheel and how the wheel controls it, right?
Yeah.
And so what you're learning when you're first learning Magic is how to manipulate the stuff that is Magic.
Great.
You weren't trying to figure out whether or not you should be driving on the left or driving on the right. Right. That takes. Once you figured out how to basically drive a car in a parking lot.
I always drive on the left.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where I am.
It doesn't matter where you are?
That's an issue.
That's so has your license been revoked by the state of Minnesota, or just should I be concerned?
Diplomatic immunity.
You're diplomat.
Whoa.
Okay. Got
I didn't know that applied to licenses.
I didn't know anything about diplomatic immunity before now, so I'm learning something new all the time
I
from
can do
Maria.
whatever I want, basically.
Whoa.
And so what I try to do is get him to know the basic mechanics of how to manipulate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd be like, yeah, that spell gives like a player would play a Healer's Hawk on turn 1. Very reasonable play.
Great.
Then in turn 2, they're like, I have a 2-cost spell. It's this one that gives my Hawk +1/+7. I'm like, great, go ahead and play that.
Yeah.
I don't care. This is a bad decision. This is an instant. You should be interacting. I don't care. I want to teach them about how a spell works, what it does to the thing. It goes to the graveyard when they can cast it.
Yeah.
And for our demo games, we wanted them fast. We just started at 6 life. We just stripped down the whole nature of the game. You had a 20 card deck. You had 6 life, and so actually giving your Healer's Hawk +1/+7 to attack for 2
pretty good.
is actually pretty okay.
Pretty solid.
And so it turns out some of the decks were better than others in this universe. Like the Jumpstart Blitz deck has Ball Lightning in it, which just kills a player. Like you get to 3 mana and they're like, what does this card do?
Dead.
And I'm like, yeah, cast that.
It kills me.
Go ahead, cast that. Pick a player. Who do you want to fight with this? And they were like, you. And I'm like, great. I don't have a creature. All right, I'm dead. Now next player's turn.
Some of these tips that you're putting out here, Rob, I just want to highlight, like starting at 6 life, I think is very smart to make the games fast. So if you want to do something different again, it doesn't take all the way down from 20 to 0. You mentioned teaching multiplayer when you're doing it. If you're teaching multiple people, like over the holidays or something, why not have a fun little multiplayer game with your friends or family and teach them all at the same time, right?
Just stick some simple decks together. Like optimally, I think Jumpstart's a little bit complicated for the very first game for a lot of people. I would have a deck that just has like 2 types of cards. My problem was that there were a lot of auras in these Jumpstart decks. Okay. And so I had to explain like an aura is just a chunk of, or an enchantment's a chunk of magic. And I think just an enchantment spell makes sense. They're just like, oh, this is Zendikar's Royal. It's just an enchantment. I made this the magical thing. It's just out there. But then I have to explain, all right, now auras are magic that you stick to things. And I'm like, that could be more advanced stuff. That could be game 2, right?
Sure. Okay.
But just having like creatures and sorceries or creatures and artifacts. People got equipment really fast. When I was like, you make a sword, it's on the ground. You can pay some mana and have a creature pick it up. So it's not like teaching them how an activated ability works is pretty smooth once they figure out, oh, it's like a spell that my card can cast. But I still have to pay for it because my card doesn't own any mana. So, like...
You still have to be the daddy.
Yeah, you still have to be... they're all your kids,
You're the sugar daddy, and these are...
everyone, I'm Magic Daddy.
And like you could also kind of like dial it in a little bit based on how much you think people are going to get, not because they're bad or terrible, but because we had kids where the most exciting part of their game was figuring out that when they take away 3 from 5, you got 2. They were really tiny. Like they were like, yeah, I had this math skill that I just learned and I can use it.
Subtraction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sick.
And so they were very excited. They got to subtract. They were like 7. Like they were very, very excited to be in there.
Like, look, kids being excited about math, like that's
and that's the whole point
deal.
of Magic Kids as a charity is once kids realize that they can, attack dragons into angels and that math lets them do that. Like
maybe I would have actually liked math if I had known about magic when I was little, if it had existed,
And so these kids actually, they came in Saturday with their dad. We played a bunch, and I was like, here's the deal. Your cards have abilities, and I don't care. We're going to ignore all the abilities in the creatures. They're just going to be their power and toughness. Because I think it's most important that you just learn about how things interact and fight and, line these numbers up. And what's 3 minus 2? Is 1 bigger than 0? Yes, good, this lives, right?
Yeah.
And so... I just had them do their basic, like if they had creatures and they had sorceries that made their creatures bigger and the creatures had no abilities, it would have been optimal. But as it sat, we just ignored the powers and toughness of the abilities of their creatures. They just had power and toughnesses. all they did is that math. And they came back again on Sunday and their dad's like, yeah, we went home, we talked about all the things we did and they couldn't stop talking about coming here and playing this. I want to play again.
And sounds like when we learned the game, honestly.
That's so cute.
And so they were so excited and they were so happy to come out and play. And then we played again and we did this again. And they were just super, super stoked to be playing with us. And so we had a bunch of people come back again on Sunday that were like, that was super cool. Can you teach me more? What's the next step? What should I do from here? I'm like, go to a local game store. If you want to play in an event here, you can. But honestly, you played like 2 games of Magic. You maybe shouldn't play sealed yet. Yeah. What you should do is take these decks that I've given you. What we did at the end, because we had done a 20-card Jumpstart deck, just one of the small Jumpstart packs.
Yeah.
If I was playing 1v1, I'd give them the one that I was using. If I was playing with 3 people, I would give whoever killed me my Jumpstart pack, and then the other people, I'd have them be like, what other ones do you want? Do you want to have the Witches Jumpstart pack? Do you want to have Vampires? Do you want to have Minotaurs? Whatever. I would give everybody Jumpstart packs, and I'd say you have 2 of these now. You were playing 1 color before. Now let's get advanced. You get to play 2 colors, and so I'd always give them a second color. And that they get to know that sometimes there's you can have decks that have 2 colors. You can have some variety in your deck building, and it'd be like swap some cards out, try some stuff. Here's a bunch of commons as well. Once you played these a couple games, add these commons in and change them out and try to figure things out. You're gonna fail. Seriously, 90% of the decks that I build are really bad, and so but what's going to happen is you're going to learn something, and you might have fun when you're learning something, and then you'll try something else. You'll say this didn't work, I'll try this other thing, and so teaching them that experimentation and trying stuff and failing is the nature of Magic. And then I had a group of 5 guys that we played a couple times, and the second time they're like, this guy's winning, we're going to beat up on him because it's multiplayer, and then this person's winning, and then we're going to kill you.
Oh yeah, a classic lesson of multiplayer. Right, you have all now learned.
Well, but then they're like, man, we feel bad because we're not winning, and I'm like, dudes, there's 5 of us. Let's say that we play, or there's 6 of us. Let's say we played 6 games. How many of those would you expect to win in a 6-player game? They're like, I don't know, maybe 1. Like, yeah, 1 or less. There's 6 of us, right? Yeah. And so you'll never you're never going to win 100% of your games. The best player who ever lived at the professional level at Pro Tours had a 62% win rate at 1v1. And that's extraordinary. That is an outrageous win rate against the Pro Tour, but that's still you win just a little over half, really.
Yeah.
And so
having that expectation up front.
Yeah, that's sometimes you lose games. And they were like, "Oh, okay." Or that makes sense.
Sometimes you lose games. And all of a sudden their life philosophy is flashing before their eyes. And you're like, it's okay to fail.
Yep.
Wow. Changing lives.
Yeah. And so, and getting them to know that sometimes stuff doesn't work out. Sometimes they get blown up by tricks. Sometimes, your opponent gets to destroy all your stuff and you get to be sad. And but there's give and take, and there's people seeing that, give and take of their deck didn't do anything. It had no 1 drops or 2 drops, but on 3 they got to play a better spell than anybody else did. Yeah. And so they get to know, the mana system means that I get back in the game by playing bigger spells if I haven't lost. Yeah. Was super helpful. I also like that tip that you have of starting out with a monocolor deck, which is how Meghan and I learned. Yeah, absolutely. And then adding in a second color only as you get better and you understand more of the game. Yeah. And the other thing when you're teaching is have patience. The people will spend some time trying to puzzle out what's going on. Do it for them the first time, show them what's going on, maybe help them the second time, and then let them read cards and figure stuff out. I would ask questions and I would tell people, I'm going to ask you questions and you're going to be confused because the answer is going to be obvious. You're going to be like, well, of course I can't do anything else. All my lands are tapped. But I asked you, is your turn done? Because I want you to think about whether or not your turn's done. You are in control of your own destiny, even though you actually have no decisions, right? You have control of whether or not your turn's done, all these things. I'm going to ask you obvious stuff and make you think about them a little bit so that way you can think, oh, am I done? Yeah, I am done, right?
This is like a therapy session, but it makes so much sense.
Yeah. And so then they'd be like, okay, so sometimes I have to think about it. Sometimes stuff isn't obvious. And so there's a lot of give and take in getting people to do the things that we take for granted, right? That I've tapped lands from mana.
That we've internalized.
I've tapped lands from mana 100,000 times, right? Yeah. But then the people who are who just don't get it on the first couple tries, sometimes it'll click and they'll be like, oh, okay, these pay for those. Oh, that's cool. And you'd be like, That was cool when I learned that.
That was cool.
Yeah. You remember those days when we learned that?
Yeah.
And it all comes into place.
Pretty amazing.
And you never want to stop playing ever in your life, and you play it on the floors
forever.
on people's
and then
parties.
here you are 10 years later.
Doing a podcast about it.
episodes.
10 years later. I've been playing for 25 years.
Okay.
25 years later.
25 years later, people got dropped.
Yep. So just the idea of, I mean, you could also talk about like educational philosophy and the way that you use your mind. What a lot of times when you're learning is using your wizard brain, right? So you have two brains, right? You get the automatic thing that one, when you drive.
Are you going to say lizard brain and lizard brain?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And so when you're driving, you just kind of do most of the stuff, like 95% of the stuff you do while driving is automatic.
On the left,
right? You've built it up. To people talk about riding a bicycle, you don't consciously think about what you're doing when you're doing it. But the first time you had to learn how to ride a bicycle, you had to think about it. You had to process it. Right. And so everybody all this time is processing it. They're using their wizard brain, their really forward thinking brain to try to get this new information. And so if you let them do that, if you think, well, for me, this is bicycle riding, right? But for them, they have to figure out whether or not turning the handle left turns the wheel left. They're still at that point. And so let them do that is the biggest thing when you're teaching people is let them have the chance to figure out the core things of which one's gas and which one's brake. Is the left one gas? I'm driving this car and I don't know because it's
a new car.
Yeah, it's a new thing that you've never done. And so getting people the chance to work that out and then build up that muscle memory in their brain is the other big part of teaching people how to play. So,
well, there you go. There's Judge Rob's tips for teaching people how to play Magic. One of the number one questions we get asked on this show.
Yeah.
Judge Rob with Magic the Amateuring.
With Magic the Amateuring.
Yeah.
And I'll be back and we'll talk more about this.
Yes.
Yes. So. And in the meantime, like we said, if you're a teacher or legitimately, if you know teachers that are looking for something to do with their students, they don't have to know Magic. Tell them.
Yeah. And
Magic kids.
And honestly, parents too. We had a bunch of people that come up that are homeschoolers, right? That they have, so a lot of homeschool parents will have like a group of homeschool parents that get together. So they'll have like 6 kids that are all homeschooling. They'll come together sometimes, teach a class to their 6 or have their 6 as a group and break up or however big of a size. We'll ship out a Magic Kids kit to something like that.
So how do you get one if you're interested?
Yeah, if you head to magickids.org, and you'll probably flash the actual address on the screen somewhere, here or there or here or somewhere.
Yeah. Can we spell magickids.org real quick?
MAGIKIDS.
There you go.
.org. And so the magickids.org will let you come to our site and find out about our educational materials and request a kit. And you have to put down like how many kids you're serving. You have to put down who you are and where you are. They're free to get shipped out. We ship out like 30 a week.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
It's huge. We
really
partner
cool.
with Card Kingdom, who are very, very great people. And we partner with Wizards of the Coast, who's been helping us with this, and with Ultra Pro and a bunch of these other great people who also sponsor you. But they are...
Nice.
We ship these out. We think that we've shipped enough kits to serve 50,000 kids this year.
Wow. It is so cool.
Yeah. Like I said, we want to be kind of the chess club for kids. Yeah. We want kids to have the chance to learn those math skills. We want to force them to read. I've worked with my niece and her reading isn't as good as it should be. And so, but finding out that she gets to kill me with a demon makes her reading a lot better, right?
Right? Your kid not want to read? Let them kill you with a demon, and they're gonna get into it.
Yeah, and so
you've motivated me, Rob.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, in learning social skills, when we talked about you lose a lot in Magic, you learn to be a not sore loser by learning a lot of Magic games, right?
Yeah.
Or by losing a lot of Magic games. And so, these skills are ones that kids are going to take away, even if they never play Magic again after their first 3 sessions or whatever.
Yeah.
These are going to help them. And so that's our goal is to make the world better and make people be better by play, right?
Thanks so much for being here today. Thank you so much to Magic Kids for doing such a cool service for the community.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we'll keep doing what we're doing, and we'll be at other shows. If you plan to be at the Magic Cons this upcoming year, if you plan to be at San Diego at the next regional championships, I think that we're going to be there with Magic Kids.
Oh, so, nice.
Stop by, say hi.
Get yourself a Judge Rob high five.
Oh, yeah. Or a hug. If you want a hug, I'll give you a hug.
Trademark.
Wow. What a deal.
Hello, human beings. It's time to thank Ultra Pro for being one of our sponsors.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about, so their color of the month right now is Forest Green.
Forest Green.
It's very gorgeous. I have like the Eclipse dice here, which are this beautiful deep green.
Love them forever.
I love these, like, look at these like gorgeous little like forest sleeve cards.
Oh, those are so pretty.
They're very pretty. Like they have the classic mana symbol, but then some additional like eyes and snakes around them. I'm doing a bad job describing. They're really pretty.
I have a green dice tray here, which is
the other way.
How do you do it? Like this?
No, the other way.
What do you mean the other way?
Like, does it fold the other way? The other
like
way.
This way in? Like
no,
this.
I mean turn it over.
Like this.
Like that?
Yeah.
There you go.
There it is. I folded up the dice tray. Check it out.
After we
figured it out.
After we said for forever, after I unhelpfully said fold it the other way. But you know what? Despite me giving bad advice and Maria not being sure what to do, it still took us only moments to assemble.
You could do it both ways, honestly.
Oh, look, there you go.
It doesn't really matter.
Yes.
There.
Dice tray. If you roll a lot of dice, get yourself a nice dice tray.
For sure.
It comes in this like beautiful flat little package.
Yeah, flat pack.
Little flat package. So that means like even you can unfold it, slip it in your backpack or your bag for your event, and then pull it out when you get there.
This is a really nice suede finish on it.
Yeah, this is a great addition. They're always coming up with sick products.
Yeah.
This is another one.
I really like this dice tray.
Nice.
Help keep your games more like in order.
Yeah.
And not like flying all over the table when you play them. Ultra Pro, it just has everything. If you want anything, they've got a bunch of sales going on right now.
Yes.
Use code GLHF at checkout for 5% off.
Yes.
On top of whatever is on sale, everybody. Like
on
we
top
said,
of it.
Go
on
do
top
that
of it.
Because you
don't tell them you can stack it. We don't know if you're supposed to be able to, but you sure can.
Right now, I think they've got deck boxes on sale. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's like 40% off. So put code GLHF in there for 45% off, whatever their current deal is.
A deal.
Just use code GLHF at checkout, okay, everybody?
Just use it.
Use it or lose it. You know what I mean? This show. We wish you a very happy Thanksgiving if you're in the U.S.
We wish you a Merry Thanksgiving.
Turkey.
We wish you a Merry Thanksgiving.
Meghan's
the Wasp.
Where is it?
It's
on the light.
All right.
It's spooky.
It's very spooky.
Oh, don't come
I think
down
its eyes
here.
are glowing.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
no,
is.
they're not. No.
Anyways.
Oof, I hope it roasts up there, but it's an LED, so it's not going to. It's just sunning itself. It's getting a little tan.
Oh, maybe it just needed some vitamin D.
Anyways,
thank you as always to the sponsors of this show.
Thank you to
Card
Cody
Kingdom and Ultra Pro. Yeah, thank you to Cody. This one was all yours.
This is all yours, Cody.
If you can get in the Discord and decide tell us whether or not you want to claim the Wasp segment.
You can have that one.
You can have the Wasp, or you can be like, I take this episode minus Wasp.
Thanks again to Judge Rob for coming on and regaling us with his tales from DreamHack Atlanta.
And remember, become a patron in the month of December or up your pledge. Be one of the first 98 people, and you'll get this gorgeous playmat. If you're already a patron, you can up your pledge starting next Monday.
Yes.
If you're not a patron, you'll have to wait and pledge $10 or more starting on December 1st.
We've got these cool buttons for Good Luck High Five. We're going to throw in with these playmat offers. So become a patron, everybody. Then up in December, get yourself that awesome playmat, or on the 28th if you're already a patron.
Yep.
And remember, if there's where did it go?
It's right up there.
Oh, God, we got to get out of here before this Wasp has us for Thanksgiving.
We really hope that we'll see you next week, but if we don't, it was the Wasp that did it.